Alrighty then. I've been waiting for an opportunity to rip this fucking team to shreds, and now I have it. When I first announced that I was doing this series called Random Rants, my man 𝔡'𝔑𝔞𝔯𝔯𝔦 was like, I'm guessing for one of your first episodes you're going to be ripping the Lakers, right? And I was like, yup, you guessed it. For those of you who don't already know, I'm a Los Angeles Lakers fan. I've been a Lakers fan since 2003, and for those of you who want to sit back and throw your bullshit labels at me, calling me a bandwagon jumper, first of all, you can go fuck yourself, and second of all, I became a fan when we were on a losing streak, so get the fuck out of here. And if I actually was a bandwagon jumper or whatever bullshit label you want to call me, don't you think I would have already became a Warriors fan by now? Don't you think at this point in time, I would maybe be a Sixers fan? Especially now that they have a championship caliber team with Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, JJ Redick, Tobias Harris, and Jimmy Butler. But no, I'm still rooting for the same sorry, pathetic, pitiful, piece of shit excuse for a basketball team the Lakers have become. But that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't give a shit what anybody says. You could pick any team. You can pick any team you want, no matter where you're from. You just have to, but you gotta pick one team, and you gotta stick with them for life. Because that's how it works. You can pick any team, but you gotta stick with them through thick and thin. I mean, you could be from, I don't know, New York City, and you could root for the Miami Heat. As long as you're a Heat fan for life. Even when the Heat suck. Of course, the Heat don't exactly suck right now. They're not doing too badly. But that's not the point. The point is, you can pick any team you want, but you gotta be with that team forever. Once you pick a team, that's the team you stick with. And because I chose the Lakers in 2003, I'm stuck with them. Even through these dark times. It is an absolute disgrace what this franchise has become. I remember the 2010 NBA Finals like it was just yesterday. 2010 was one of the darkest years of my life. It was a very depressing year for me. I'd rather not talk about it. But the bright spot of that year was when my Lakers went to the NBA Finals and beat those punk-ass Boston Celtics. I remember Game 7 stuck out to me the most. I remember I was on vacation with family members in Ocean City, and everybody wanted to go to sleep early, so while everybody was asleep, I had to get up and kick the TV on. I was 16 at the time. I had to kick the TV on, and I had to keep it at mute. And when I kicked the TV on, we were down, and I initially wanted to be pissed. I initially wanted to rage, but I couldn't. I wanted to start getting excited. I wanted to cheer when we were making that comeback. And I wanted to go absolutely fucking bonkers when we finally won. But I couldn't. Because I had to whisper the whole time. I couldn't wake anybody up. And it was one of the grandest moments of my life. And it came at one of the darkest years of my life. Unfortunately, the Lakers haven't done a damn thing since then. This franchise, from the top to the bottom, is an absolute clusterfuck. Where do we even begin? Let's start at the very top of the food chain, shall we? We got Jim Buss's dumbass... No. Jerry Buss's dumbass kids, Jeannie and Jim Buss. When Jerry Buss died in 2013, that's when their downward spiral started to really happen. But Jeannie and Jim started to have an influence even before that. The following year, after the 2010 finals, when we got swept by the Mavericks, Jeannie and Jim ran Phil Jackson off. And then we decided to fire Phil Jackson's successor, Mike Brown, after a 1-4 start. Who the fuck fires a coach after a 1-4 start their second year? I mean, who does that? Yeah, I was initially frustrated with Mike Brown because we lost to the Thunder, who, by the way, went to the NBA Finals that year. But say whatever you will about Mike Brown, but I kind of felt like he should have gotten more time. And to make it even worse, they even went as far as teasing bringing Phil Jackson back, only to hire Mike D'Antoni instead at the 11th hour because Phil wouldn't stroke at the Buss's ego and he was sleeping with Jim's sister or daughter or whatever. Whatever the fucking story was. Give me a break. And that was the year... I'm not going to blame... The Chris Paul debacle wasn't their fault. That was David Stern. That was David Stern's bitch ass. But Jim's son and daughter didn't do... Well, his daughter was actually in charge of business. His son was who was in charge of day-to-day basketball operations. So it was mainly Jim Buss who was fucking everything up at that point. But Jim didn't do himself any favors after that when he traded for Steve Nash, which cost us a first-round pick. Although we would have a first-round pick anyway that year when we gave our initial one up to the Sixers. We got one back because of the Cleveland Cavaliers, but that's not the point. There's been many times that the Busses found ways to fuck up situations that probably would have blown over if given time and if they were patient and just kept their hands off it. But no. But not only that, we also didn't give D'Antoni that much time either. We decided to let him go after the 2014 season. Pretty sure Kobe was hurt that year. Oh, by the way, how did that Byron Scott situation turn out? An inability to relate to players in a 38 combined wins in 2 seasons. Yeah, that's brilliant. And we'll get to Byron Scott's successor in a little bit. And not to mention god-awful signings galore, such as Timofey Mozgov and Luol Deng. And we had to trade one of our first-round picks, D'Angelo Russell, just so we can be rid of Mozgov's contract. And look how that turned out. Jeannie decided she had enough and sacked her brother from day-to-day operations and replaced him with basically the closest thing to a Jerry Buss child that you could find in Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson, his legacy is untouched because of how great he was as a player. Arguably, in my opinion, the greatest point guard to ever walk the face of the earth. In my opinion, Magic Johnson's the greatest point guard to ever walk the face of the earth. But if you know his relationship with Jerry, you'll know that he is a bust in all but name. And they hired Rob Pelinka, who was also inexperienced. And not to mention, they refused to bring Jerry West back. By the way, Jerry West was the one who built those winning Laker franchises back then. He was the one that put together the Kobe and Shaq. He was the one who put together the Kobe and Shaq era. Jerry West is arguably the greatest executive in NBA history. And I'll get to the other successful franchises that he's built and will probably build in the future. Yeah, we wouldn't bring Jerry West back. Another fatal mistake. The 2017 and 18 Lakers had some potential. Yeah, I kind of feel like we should have drafted Jason Tatum, but we instead fell for the hype machine and got Lonzo Ball. I tried to be as patient as I could with Lonzo. I got frustrated with him during his rookie season, but now Lonzo has come to form. Unfortunately, the dude can't stay healthy. The dude's not on the court. But he does have a place on this team, so thank God we at least got it right. We at least got it right somewhat there, right? The 2017-18 team definitely boasted some potential with Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle. Maybe bringing in Andre Ingram toward the end of the season, whatever. So yeah, we were climbing up the wins ladder after Scott was fired. But then, Paul George could be on his way. We didn't end up trading for him. He ended up going to the Oklahoma City Thunder. They ended up making the trade. And I thought that the Lakers were going to get him in the summer. I just felt that if we could have just gotten Paul George, just get Paul George, and then just build the team around him. Now, was Paul George going to make the Lakers an instant contender? No. They still would have had years to go. They still would have had a long time to go. They still had ways to go. They still had to build around him. But I felt like he would have been a good player to build around. I believe he's got star status. And he's 29 years old. I felt like it was perfect. But of course, in typical Lakers fashion, Magic and Jeannie ended up falling for the hype machine yet again. And I heard they were going after LeBron James. When I first heard that, I was thinking to myself, I wanted to think the very best. Of course, I always go into everything with an open mind. I'm not going to say, I don't want him. I try not to do that too many times. But I was thinking to myself subconsciously, I was like, no, 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 no. Come on, we got a young core going. We have something we could build on. Please, don't ruin it all. Don't piss it all away by caving into the hype machine. And then they sign him. When they first signed him, I didn't think we were fucked initially. I wanted to think the absolute best. I wanted to be optimistic, and I wanted to go into the season with an open mind. Even though I already knew that LeBron was a selfish stat chaser. I mean, shout out to my man Bruce Blitz. Even though he has me blocked on Twitter, but he did mention on a Raw review at one point that it's nothing personal if he does that. He just likes to do that. He just likes doing that. But Bruce Blitz does an amazing job exposing LeBron's stat chasing and those bullshit narratives. Unfortunately, the Lakers didn't get that memo, so they fell for the hype machine yet again. And to make it even worse, they tried to use LeBron as a... Well, I don't know this for a fact. It could just be mere gossip, but I'm willing to believe that Magic used LeBron as the sales pitch to get Paul George here. Unfortunately, Paul George ended up re-signing with the Oklahoma City Thunder before we signed LeBron. So basically, we chose LeBron over Paul George. On paper, the Lakers did accomplish their goal. They still got cap space for the future. They got the top free agent on the market. They still got a draft pick like they desire, but they still fucked up royally, in my opinion. And let me explain. Paul George, like I said before, is a young talent, is one of those younger talent. He's not even 30 yet. He's only 29 years old. He was only 28, 29 years old at the time. He was somebody we could build around. He is somebody who will put up big numbers without stat padding. And even if the Lakers weren't going to be championship contenders for the next 5 years, hell, even with the partial build, I truly feel that Paul George would have been a core contributor for the Lakers in future playoff runs. So the conclusion is, you fucking grab Paul George. Not fucking grab somebody who is known for taking plays off on defense. If you actually look at it, LeBron's next-gen stats, he's one of the slowest guys on both offense and defense, and he has one of the least amount of box outs in any starting lineup. So he's just out there sacrificing his defense, cherry picking rebounds, and he's on the wrong side of 30. And Magic opened the vault for him. A fucking 4-year deal worth $150 million. And I think my man Ranting Philly Fan told me that there was a no trade clause. I wouldn't mind if we traded him, but it ain't gonna happen. And to make it even worse, look at the team he assembled. He brought in fucking Rajon Rondo, who can't play defense if his life depended on it. We let Julius Randle walk, and then we brought in Lance Stevenson, another washed-up guy who's way past his prime. Come to think of it, of course, you can't go by stats with everything, but Lance Stevenson, turns out he wasn't even that good in his prime either. He was okay. And then we signed JaVale McGee, the weakest link on the Warriors. Yeah, I'm shaking in my goddamn boots at that one. Oh, by the way, I take a major L. I take a major L for thinking he was an upgrade over Brook Lopez. I mean, this wasn't a good look. This wasn't the greatest look. But I'm thinking to myself, the Lakers weren't going to LeBron wasn't going to fuck everything up as badly as I expect. Right? And then LeBron tries to get the entire team traded so he could get Anthony Davis. By the way, that single-handedly killed the morale of this team. Now, not only is he's alienated, LeBron has also alienated coaches. He's been ignoring Luke Walton's play calling. I'll get to Luke Walton, don't worry. He's ignored Luke Walton's play calls. He's been sitting 2 benches away from players. He's managed to alienate the entire roster. And it's fucking groan-worthy to see him talk about how the team needs to improve on shit. It's like, dude, last time I checked, you're the one that's just standing around dribbling the basketball while everybody's coming off screens. It's you who's sagging off on defense out there on a fucking island, sacrificing your defense so you could get your precious rebounds. So get the fuck out of here. And let's get into Luke Walton. Luke Walton has definitely overstayed his welcome. I'm hearing that this guy didn't even hire a shooting coach, which would have helped the team improve with their shooting, and he felt that the team didn't need it, and he hired very shitty staff. Of course, it's not entirely Walton's fault, but the thing is, you can't blame one person. It's everybody's fault. And it turns out that Luke Walton has actually pushed. Turns out Luke Walton pushed. He pushed for Brook Lopez and Julius Randle to stay, but Magic ignored Walton's pleas and brought in McGee, Stevenson, and fucking Michael Beasley. Yeah, Michael Beasley. Look how that turned out. I feel it's absolutely frustrating. We could have signed Paul George, kept Julius Randle, and either kept Brook Lopez or maybe brought in DeMarcus Cousins. I did not want DeMarcus Cousins on the team. I didn't. But looking back with it, I wouldn't have minded. But even that would have been better than what this team is right now. But instead, Magic blew his load on LeBron. Well played. Oh, and trust me, it gets worse. Oh, and Magic even goes as far as trading Ivy Zubac, or however the fuck you pronounce his name. Like, why the fuck are you trading him? He's a great backup center. Maybe he could be a starter one of these days. Give the motherfucker a chance. Oh, but no, you decide to trade him to the fucking rival Clippers for Mike Muscala. You fucking idiots. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. You fucking idiots. Anyway, let's see how, and unsurprisingly, let's check in on Paul George. Unsurprisingly, at one point, Paul George was putting up like 44 points on most nights and was actually in talks. Paul George was actually in talks for MVP at one point. And it's no surprise that he's an absolute cornerstone for the Thunder this year. Of course, he did cool down a little bit, but at one point he was a cornerstone and he was on fire. He was on fire last month with the Thunder. And it really made us look like goddamn retards. Hell, even now that he's cooled down, he still makes us look like retards. Now let's take a look at the guys. Let's take a look at the guys that Magic didn't see anything in, didn't give a shit for, that are doing well with their other teams. Let's see how well they're doing, shall we? Let's see. Julius Randle scores 30. Let's see. Julius Randle scores 30 points and win. Ivy Zubac is becoming one of the best rim protectors on the Clippers. D'Angelo Russell scores 44 points, including a 27-point comeback win over the Kings. Oh god, this guy can't assess talent worth a damn. And even if they succeed, and even if they do succeed in the draft, how the hell, what are they going to do for the future? It sounds to me like they don't have any fucking plan. It really does. It sounds to me like they have no fucking plan. I don't see no plan. Where's the plan? What's the plan? What's the plan? I don't know the plan. I find very little evidence that LeBron can relate to any of the modern player that comes here. He's just going to treat them like the core he's replacing. I'm even hearing reports that Kawhi Leonard has no interest in playing with him. I've heard those reports come out. And now I'm hearing, and I keep hearing, I'm not throwing fellow Laker fans under the bus. I'm not throwing any of them under the bus, but I'm hearing some of them believing that we're gonna bring in either Kawhi Leonard, Klay Thompson, or KD. Why the hell would they want to come to this shithole? They still got, Draymond Green has been a hothead lately, but they still got a brotherhood in Golden State. And by the way, Klay Thompson would have only considered coming here if we had gotten Anthony Davis, which we didn't. There are rumors that he could sign here in the summer, but I highly doubt it. And Kevin Durant, get the fuck out of here. You can forget about Kevin Durant ever coming here. Come on. Nobody wants to come here. And I'm sorry to be that guy, but LeBron has absolutely killed the morale of this team. And I hear shit all over Twitter about how LeBron ruined the Lakers. Well, the Lakers were kind of already ruined before he even came here, but he definitely fucked up the future, that's for goddamn sure. And even if LeBron was panning out, even if he wasn't underachieving and getting his shot blocked by scrubs on scrub basketball teams like the Knicks, if that wasn't happening, he's not getting any younger. Nobody has benefited from this move other than LeBron's wallet. Hell, even NBA TV ratings are somehow worse off. I'm sorry for being that. I'm really sorry for being that kind of guy. I like being that guy that keeps an open mind. Don't get me wrong. I want to be optimistic for the future, but I'm sorry. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I really don't. I really see pure darkness. I think this organization is too fixated and too determined to embrace the smell of their own shit and keep making the mistake. They keep making the same mistakes over and over again. I guarantee you Genie's probably going to bring in some more old faces. And they're going to be pushing that fucking Laker blood bullshit. Look, if you were really going to go... If you were going to go the loyalty route, if you were going to go the Laker blood route, at least fucking bring back Jerry West, you stupid fucks. Nope. Oh, by the way, since the Lakers, Jerry Buss, as we know, is the mastermind behind the Golden State Warriors brotherhood with Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson. I'm pretty sure Jerry West was still with the team when they brought Kevin Durant in. He's not behind DeMarcus Cousins, I know that. And now Jerry West is with the Clippers, and the Clippers seem to be... The Clippers, I think, are a team that's on the come up. And don't be surprised if the Clippers become a championship contender one day. I know you may think that sounds ridiculous, but come on, this is Jerry West. Jerry West is one of the greatest executives in NBA history, if not the greatest. I'm sorry, but I don't feel very confident. If you guys feel optimistic, I admire that. I admire your optimism. That's why I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to try not to say anything to you if you feel like the Lakers could do something in the future. I try to keep my mouth shut when I hear people say that on Twitter, because if they want to feel that way, if you feel that way, more power to you. But I have no confidence that this team's going to get better in the future. I really don't. I'm sorry for saying this, but I think this team is going to become the new Sacramento Kings. The way I see it, LeBron's probably going to succumb to more injuries and he'll fuck off. The big Bozo brand may establish themselves elsewhere. Brandon Ingram may never reach his full potential and he might get run out of town. If you think this is just a lapse and that the Lakers will get their shit together one day, well, I admire your optimism, but they got a hell of a fucking mess to clean up. Yeah, we should have brought back Jerry West. And now Jerry West And by the way, as far as the teams wanting to come to California, why come to this shithole when you could go to the fucking Clippers with Jerry West and Doc Rivers? By the way, Doc Rivers has also been warned not to coach the Lakers. I wonder why. Why come here when you can go to the Clippers, who have Jerry West and Doc Rivers, who are building for the future, while all the Lakers know how to do is live in the fucking past? And for those of you, and some of you out there, and I think some LeBron tards, I guarantee you, you're probably getting pissed at me. I know you want to throw your device across the room. I know you want to scream into the screen right now. But you know deep down that I'm right. I don't want to be right. I want to be wrong. But I don't think this team's getting any better. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Until next time, this has been a Random Rants. Lakers, wake the fuck up!